Hello there my fellow Holotable heroes and welcome to another roster review. So today the Holotable hero we will be looking at is, not sure how to pronounce their name, I actually didn't ask them, maybe I should. I guess if they're American, could be Ito Chines, if it's British then it would be Ito Chines, or maybe it's like French or something and it would be Itoshine, I don't know, who knows. But their guild name that we know how to read, Phoenix Love in all the wrong places. So very funny guild name, so shout out to them as well. As always in these reviews, I'll be going through my notes I made before recording this video, and then we look at the plan as well, and obviously just give you a quick, to start off, just give you a little bit quick brief on what we do know about the player. So they said that they've been playing Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes since the beginning, but then stopped in 2018. So what they've probably been playing for about 3 years, and then they came back in 2022. So they had like a 4-year break in the middle, and now recently they made a decent progress in a good guild, and they were able to catch up because of the Lightspeed bundles being released. So obviously they were taking advantage of those great deals. And now they would just like to get a roster review to a little bit help get some advice on order of priorities. At the moment they're farming Galactic Legend Leia and Jedi Master Kenobi requirements, and the guild is also trying to unlock Mandalore. So with that out of the way, we'll be going through like some of the factions where I have something to comment on. Now they didn't specifically, I guess, ask for mods, but to be honest, their mods are more or less in the right place. They just need to, you know, roll them, slice them, but I didn't see anything like outrageous that I think I should be pointing out. So we'll just go through first, let's have a look. So they do have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 Galactic Legends already at 10.7 mil GP. Now one very interesting thing about the roster, if I sort by rarity, as you will see, they have most units at 7 stars. I would usually have the top lane for farming shards or blueprints for ships, but in their case they pretty much got everything at 7 stars, so just a case of gearing and relicking now. So it's gonna be a slightly different plan than usual, but definitely a very interesting roster. I haven't seen this before, where everything is basically at 7 stars, except obviously, you know, just the very latest marquee units. Let's see if we have similar story with the ships. Okay, so looks like most ships again at 7 stars, just the Punishing One, couple of Sith and Raven's Claw. Okay, so even here, like with ships, not a lot of farming to do, it's just a case, I guess, of gearing up and things like that. So definitely a very unique roster from that perspective. Okay, so let's go back over, and yeah, so in terms of mods, they're modded okay. I don't need to point anything out, so just go with the factions. So in terms of Bad Batch, because obviously they do have a Galactic Republic fleet, what I would suggest is at some point to get at least Tech, Wrecker all these at gear 12, so at least Tech and Hunter to get them to gear 12 for the Marauder, so that, you know, you have then a very serviceable either negotiate or endurance fleet to use in Grand Arena. So that's what I would suggest. And then up next, let's look at the Gungans. They're only gear 12, so it looks like they kind of are slowly either for the raid or maybe just making a push for Jar Jar. So again, at some point, if you have them already at 7 stars, gear 12, might as well just bump them up and unlock Jar Jar as well. Then looking at the Imperial Remnants, Dark Trooper, they do have Dark Trooper Moff Gideon, so I would suggest again at some point you should be gearing him up, because it's a very solid team, both Grand Arena as well as Territory Wars and even Territory Battles. And obviously you have Scout Trooper already for Leia, you've got Gideon, you got Death Trooper, maybe just get Enoch up and running and you are good to go with your Imperial Remnant squad. You know, just kind of mind their investment there. In terms of Jedi, where we are at, so they do have Ezra, so yeah, I would just, you know, again at some point gear up Ezra, apply Omicrons on him, just to make your Galactic Legend raid team a bit more formidable on defense. Then if we look at Mandalorians, so you can see they got Canderous, they got Django, so just again at some point get Maul up and running, just that you have, you know, another Mandalorian squad that you can use anywhere. So that's what I would suggest. to give you a new team for Grand Arena, and then Night Sisters. So you can see that's, I guess, the Lightspeed bundle Night Sisters. All of these ladies are relic free, and that's very good because now you only need to get Great Mothers and Morgan. They're both 7-star. Just need to gear them up to a point that then you can have 2 Night Sister squads to use. Obviously, one with the OG Night Sisters, and then Great Mothers, a very powerful team for both Grand Arena as well as territory wars and even territory battles. So you've already got all these Night Sisters already. Might as well complete your second Night Sister squad. And then let's have a look at Resistance. Yeah, let's get, I guess, Zori as well up and running, right? Get her to Relic, so you can use under the Fiend lead in Grand Arena. We got Rogue One, so they do have the Rogue One, you know, the ones, I guess, the core. I would just also get K2 up and running, again, just to make sure that you have a full Relic squad, so you can use them with Datacrons. If you don't worry about Datacrons, like, you know, Gear 12 K2 will do the job. And then Scoundrels, what do we have for Scoundrels? Afra, yeah, again, get Afra up and running. It's gonna be like Maul, right? Just another Grand Arena team that you can use. And she also has 2 combat missions in territory battles also, so, you know, that will be nice value there as well. That's that for Scoundrels, I think, yeah. And then Tuscans, again, assuming a Lightspeed bundle there. You've got them relic, just slap an Omicron Tuscan Raider. We have a free season now. It's gonna cause some trouble for your opponents in your end of Grand Arena League for sure. And then unaligned force users. We got Seer. So we do want to get Cal, right, up and running as well at some point. Get him to relics. And then you got Malakos at Relic 5, just slap an Omicron on him, at least one. Which one? There's one where he's assisting, I can't remember which one is it. So the one that gives him assist, the unique, that's what you will want to have as first. And then you have, again, another new team that you can, solid team that you can use in Grand Arena. And then obviously in terms of the farms, as you can see, they are pretty close already in terms of these guys for the profundity. So just finish the last few relics and you should be able to unlock profundity. Then for Leia, there is some work on the rebel side, but for the most part, you know, not too far off, I think. And then for Kenobi, similar story, I think, just finishing up on the last few Galactic Republic relics and things like that. Yeah, Mace is needed, right? Clone Sergeant, Cody. We need those guys. And then, because they did mention their guild is trying to push to unlock for Mandalore, let's get as well Paz, IG, Bo-Katan, right? And Beskar Mando up and running. And then, you know, you'll have 2 Mandalorian squads, one led by Maul and then another one by Bo-Katan that you can use. So this is kind of overall what I would suggest to work on. However, it's a lot to work on, and that's why, as you've come to expect from our roster reviews, we do have a plan here that we can go through in order of priorities just to make it more clear what's happening here. So first, you've got obviously we don't have, as mentioned before, the farming lane because everything's basically at 7 stars more or less. We do have the Omicron lane at the bottom instead. But anyway, first what we'll do is, as you can see, they've got all the ships already for profundity at 7 stars. All they need is last few relics like Redis, Cassian and Bistan. So just prioritize this for relicking. So you should then quickly be able to unlock profundity. So that I think it should be your first priority. You're very close to it. Just get it done. Because as we know, capital ships do take a while to get to 7 stars with, you know, 10 shards a month. Or if you do a refresh, maybe 20 or something like that. Now in terms of gearing, we'll just start, you know, gearing as mentioned before, Night Sisters. Let's get them geared up so you get a second Night Sister lineup. Then we'll work on Ezra for your raid team, Maul for another Mandalorian squad. Then we'll start working here on Bo-Katan as well, gearing those units up. As mentioned, Bad Batch, pilots, and then we need to as well get Maze geared up, K2, you know, as everything we discussed already. you know, the last few remaining Kenobi requirements, and then Gungans for Jar Jar, and then Cal, you know, just the other little bits and bobs there as well, Rebel fighters, maybe Saw and Luthen at some point in the end. Just, you know, start gearing them up, and then, you know, once you are free to relic them, you can then relic them. So really the main focus then kind of, I think, at this point is relicking, because mentioned before, almost there. Also get Captain Rex a relic up obviously for Leia. So after we've wrapped up Profundity relicking, we want to relic up all the requirements here for Galactic Legend Leia. Again, you know, not too much gearing to do for Leia, just really relicking. So hopefully, you know, in a few months you have Leia unlocked on top of Profundity. Then we'll start relicking up all the requirements for Bo-Katan, and this will give as well unlock to her. So then, you know, you can contribute to unlocking of Mandalore in your territory battles. And after we do that, we start relicking up a lot of Kenobi requirements, and after we're done with that, and you know, we can go back to the guys that were, you know, waiting to be relicked up, that we were gearing up in the meantime. So it's kind of, you know, the, I guess, order of priority for gearing and relicking. So over the next 12 months or so, I guess, while you're doing this, you will unlock Profundity, you will unlock 2 Galactic Legends and a Legendary as well, which obviously will become very handy, while as well gear up a lot of other units that will set you up for the success, you know, and continuing your journey here, like, you know, getting some of these Conquest units up and running, getting another Night Sister lineup running as well, Bad Batch for the Marauder, other kind of bits and bobs like K2, Zori, just to finish off the squads. Get to also start working towards Jar Jar, and then, you know, get your remnants up and running as well, and the Rebel fighters. So that's what I would suggest. And then in terms of Omicrons, so basically Malachus, Zalbar, as well as Tuscan. Oh, I didn't actually show, but they do have, I believe, all the Old Republic basically up and running. I would just slap an Omicron on Zalbar because, you know, it's early days, but it definitely looked very good. Maybe just hold off on a week or two just to see if you're a bit cautious, but definitely Malachus, Tuscan Raider, you can just slap on these Omicron straight away and you will immediately feel the impact for them. And then obviously at some point we'll be applying Omicrons on Ezra whenever he's ready. As well, Bo-Katan, she will need at least like 1 Omicron, ideally 2 on her to make the best use out of her. And then finally, you know, once Afra, Rebel fighters are ready as well, spare some Omicrons for these guys. So that's kind of the overall, I guess, plan for gearing, relicking, Omicron. So I think overall, again, it was a very interesting review because normally I kind of say, oh, what we still need to farm to 7 stars, and that's the starting point, whereas here everything was more or less at 7 stars. So here's like, well, what do we need to just gear and relic then? It's definitely a very, very interesting roster. I really enjoyed doing this one. Now, hopefully you find this useful, helpful. I'll see you in the next one, I guess. But until then, have fun, enjoy life, and may the RNG be with you, my friends.